When I got on the city council, first of all, the first African American ever elected to the city council. And it's what, we're celebrating 150 years. When I got there, I had looking at a lot of things in the city. I was chairman of Comlink and my own neighborhood association. Comlink is all the neighborhood associations in Santa Ana. We had 59 of them when I was chair of the Comlink organization in the city. And a lot of the neighborhoods, we were getting a lot of stores and bars, selling liquor, okay? And we would hear from the youth in our respective neighborhoods, like, why are they putting another liquor store or liquor bar in our neighborhood, for my father to go out there and just drink night after night after night? So I'm going, okay, what can we do? So we took it to the youth. I watched the youth take the issue to the city council, and it dragged on and on and on. So when I got on the city council, I thought about, as a neighborhood chair, what were some of the issues that were affecting our youth? So we didn't have youth advocates at that time, officially. So being my generation, we also have to look to the future. What do you need for the city to do to make you successful adults? What kind of programs, what kind of activities do we need? Okay, well, none of us could answer that because we're the tennis ball, football, shuffleboard kind of activities, okay? We didn't even have a skate park during that time. So I worked with the city manager and our Parks and Recreations director, who was Alan Doby at that time, and say, we need a commission. We need to establish a commission for our youth to participate in a way of accessing the ear of the city council. So we developed them, and I brought the concept in that we would have. We started out with a representative from each, a commissioner would be representative of each of the high schools. And then the junior high, because those kids get left out all the time, okay? Everybody forget about the junior high. They would be associates as a training, so that when the high school commissioners graduated, then one of the junior high person, when they got into high school, to take their place. They already had the background. Most important, and I don't know if they're doing it today, every commissioner, youth commissioner, got $25 per meeting. The associates got $15, because if you're going to spend time, to be active, you need to be paid, right? You know how much we value. Everybody else on the other commissions get paid. The youth, I made sure they got paid on there. So out of that, we had our youth commission. And it was very successful on several levels. Being the first African American elected to the city council, my first day on the job in January, I was approached by the Jewish community. The Jewish community wanted to get closer to the African American community, to bring in, to foster better relationships. So I put together, as the Register called it, Jesus and the Jews meet together. That was the article, okay? When we had all of the African American ministers and leaders in the community meet together. And it turned out to be very successful. Very successful relationship, because the Jewish Defense League came in and said, Alberta, we need your help. We have Ethiopian Jews. And they were airlifted under the Solomon evacuation because in Ethiopia they were being killed by the Muslims. So Israel needed to protect them and move them into Israel. The funny thing, Ethiopians had never seen a white Jew, and a white Jew has never seen a dark Ethiopian Jew. So what was happening is that they wanted to bring some high school students over and to meet Santa Ana students, high school students. And so they said, do you think this is the ambassadorship for the Youth Commission? What do you think I said? What do you think I said? Roy? Of course. Of course. Okay, who better to be the ambassador of the city than to have our youth commission? Once again, giving you credibility before the city of saying, this is what the youth of our community is doing. So they did. We went to Century, Saddleback, Santa Ana, Valley. I think that was it during that time of high schools. And you know what? They found out by hosting these students, because we divided them up, you all hated your parents, you all loved shopping, you all had boyfriend problems, and school was a pain in the butt. Okay? So you all, no matter where you were in the world, you had the same issues as our students did today. They formed a relationship. And so they wanted our students, youth commissioner, to come to Israel and see them. Well, the parents said no. They did not trust. They go, no, Israel is dangerous. Israel is more secure than any place else. Believe me, you might hear of chaos, but I've been to Israel in 2012. I mean, everybody's happy, safe, and everything else, and they would have had, but the parents said no, but on there. But that was the kind of thing, and they communicated, and when the phone bill came, and the parents got the phone bill and found out all the roaming charges, because it's just not like calling in another state. I mean, they were having some horrific phone bill, so they go, no call, just write. But that was the kind of thing that our youth and commissioners did. And the amazing thing is that over in Israel, when you graduate, okay, you have to put in, for the girls, 2 years in the Army, boys, 4 years in the Army. So one of the students that was at Santa Ana High School had to complete his obligation, and he got killed. So our youth commissioner did a special memorial service in honor of the one that came over that they got to know. That's how the world impacted the city of Santa Ana, through those youth commission. So then we came in, and the youth came in and said, we need a skate park. Because they were skating in the street, you were skating using your skateboards on public property, and people were upset. So we said, okay, turn it over to the youth commission. So the youth commission got all the kids involved. Okay? And it was every grade. So what they did was have a contest. What kind, draw a skate park for us. So the kids got together and they drew the skate park over at Centennial, okay? And we said, okay, now you follow the rules, helmets, pads, everything else. They did for the first 6 months, okay? After that, it was all over the place. But anyway, they were so excited. You know who else was excited about that part? Because they heard that the kids had drawn that that kids actually do the plans. Is his name Tony Hawk? I don't know. Is he important to skateboarding? Tony Hawk came over to check out our skate park, and Tony Hawk gave that high praises. He got a ticket for not having a helmet or knee pads or any protective, and he'd just go there, and the kids, when the park ranger gave him the ticket, do you know who that was? You gave a ticket, but he turned around and told them, yes, you followed the rules. Make sure you have the. He said, yeah, I deserved it, put on that. Then it came up where we were hearing that other organizations, youth organizations, wanted to know how to network with the city to let the parents know what kind of after-school programs or tutorial programs that they had. Okay, so we said, okay, we sat down with the youth, let's do an expo, a youth expo. So we had everything. That time Tiger Woods was high there. He brought his golf academy. We had karate demonstrations. We had all kinds of organizations. We had scholarships for all over the place. We had where one high school, the commissioners got together for bragging rights, where they had an athletic sports event of competition. So whoever won had the bragging rights as the best school, that year. We had a helicopter land at Eddie West Station. At that time, there was a newscaster called Commander Chuck Street. He gave all of the traffic report. He heard about it, and he says, can I participate? So you can see, Chief Walter says, I got a helicopter landing at Eddie West. He bought his helicopter, and of course, they stationed people around there, so it wouldn't. But it went all over the news. We had publicity on radio. We had, at that time, the Register had a cable, and we advertised on there. We had our youth commissioners talking about it. So the first time, Carl's Jr. was giving away hamburgers for $1. They only thought 300 people were going to come, right? They ran out of food. When we opened the gates to come down the tunnel, from the tunnels, 10,000 youth, because we used all of the community centers. We brought buses in, and the kids, all ages, came in on that day. 10,000 youth, and it was from noon to 5. And everybody had, and I kept looking as they were coming in. I go, we need a bigger space. We need a bigger space. So it averaged, the following year, we had 9,000. And when I was out of office, it came to about 8,000. So I don't know if you have it now or not, but it was the most important, where parents could get information. You could see the different programs that the city had. And our youth commission was also got introduced, and the kids got to know their commissioners. So that's kind of how my thought of the use of the youth commission to bring to the city your dreams. What would you like your city to do for you to make you successful students or citizens and parents, if you're going to live here, okay? The youth had to, the reason why we use the different high schools is because they had to be appointed by one of the council members and the mayor, okay? So that we had full representation there on that. So it's just like any other commission that we had. And then, of course, too, they had to fill out, because we were paying you and you were going to get a little paycheck and a W-2 form, you had to fill out an IRS form. But that's exactly what they did. We had people that wanted to participate in there, and Alan Dobie and a couple of his employees kind of went through an interview process. That was coming on just like anybody else, and they took the top one from each of the schools, and so not too many junior highs, because junior highs are kind of, well, I don't know, as they go to work, I don't know, it's some, you got to encourage them. So some of the parents pushed them in, but once they got in, they came back and said, I got the greatest job of all, bringing it up. So that's how we did with that. We were, any junior high kid that wanted to be an associate, we just signed them up, and they went back and broadcast exactly to make the interest for the following time. And and you served until, like I said, 18, because you're high school. You graduate 18, right, at high school? Yeah. And that's what we had. Get your youth input to guide us, for you to communicate to us, what did you need from your city? And believe me, you were vocal. Believe me. And when, like I was said, when we had all of these application or liquor license coming into the community, the youth commissioner stepped up along with, they bought their schools or people in the community. At that time, guess who the city listened to? You guys. We denied their application. We denied your application. That was a negative. You said, this is a negative. This is what's impacting our community. This is breaking down our family values. This is what's causing, we want to break the chains of, domestic violence in the home, alcoholism, and you're continually bringing in these establishments that's just perpetuating this. So we said, no, absolutely not. So I gave you the power. Or I developed it, but the council is the one that approved it. So we gave you the power to do that. I think it was 2000. 1999, because I came on and I was elected in 1998. 1999 was when we started the Youth Commission, and immediately in 2000 we had our first Youth Expo. And we prayed, because we had it in March, and we prayed, please do not rain. Please do not rain. You know how March is not. And it didn't. How would it then, how the city would then not address your issues as direct as possible? Probably be budget. Okay, the budget. You have to look at that. How much money are we going to put into parks and recreations, for youth activities and everything else? What's the first thing going to be cut? Okay, had the Youth Commission now come in and said how important these funds are. And also to encourage our staff. We had a staff that was excellent in writing grants. Writing grants. Grants are when you apply either the state or federal government to give you money for a specific program. And we had excellent staff that did that in each department. They were just writing. And we got money and money and money. Okay? Library. Nobody thinks it's just a library with books. So I was talking to the library director at that time, which was Rob Richards, and I said, we're having a problem, Rob. And I said, how do we enforce, or not enforce, but how do we point out to a parent how important reading is to their children? How important is that? And he says, I'm writing for a grant. He says, what are you thinking? What is the first thing a parent looks at when they leave the hospital of a newborn child? Well, they get a basket, right? In that basket has everything that child needs to be nurtured, loved, and taken care of. So we got a grant, he wrote, and we worked with Santa Ana Unified. We put a book in there And they had a choice, English or Spanish. To once again, once you leave that hospital with that basket and they're telling you this is important for your child, you know, to grow up, or their health or whatever. When you see that book, what does that mother say? How important is that book now? Very, very important. So that's what we did. And I got the youth commissioner to come in behind me and said, yeah, we need this. We need to help to educate our youth. So yeah, I used the commission to get a program through, but was it successful? You betcha. You betcha. We worked with Western Med. First time anything like that has happened. So number one, we got to bring people together and get rid of this hatred. Number one, okay? I'm African American, okay? You are Hispanic, all of you Hispanic, okay? Let me give you an example. My granddaughter graduated from Calvary Chapel High School. She's a Calvary kid, grew up there. They teach them how to stand up for moral values, okay? When Caitlin was 7 years old, remember the little girl, Samantha Runyon, who was captured, was murdered, you know, kidnapped and murdered by this guy? And at that time we had Sheriff Corona, who caught the guy, and he was known as American Sheriff during that time because he went out, got the guy, and everybody else would have missing children or anything else, couldn't find them. So anyway, Caitlin, my daughter's African American, her father's white. That picture of that little girl, everybody thought it was Caitlin. Only difference, Samantha had brown eyes. Caitlin had blue eyes. Okay. So what did I do as a grandparent? First thing I did was put her in karate. Caitlin had 8 years in karate. Okay. And she was ticked because she was better than the boys, and because she was only 13, she couldn't go up for a brown belt. She said, I quit. You know, I'm better than these guys that are older than I and get to go. I quit, you know. So she went into acting at the high school, or junior high school. Caitlin is over right now and finishing up her freshman year at Johnson Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island. She's on an academic scholarship in biology. She wants to be a vet. She has 2 roommates. One is from Connecticut, and she wants to be a nurse practitioner. And the other one is an American citizen that was raised in Morocco. Okay? And she's coming back, and she's Muslim. Hatred is coming against her. She doesn't wear the hijab or anything like that. She looks Muslim. So over in there. And Caitlin is saying, Dream, do not answer them. They're stupid. You know, we do not, you know, speak to people who are just absolutely stupid. Get behind me. Hold on to my backpack, because they're going to have to come through me, and I can kick their butts, okay? She knows karate. She's that expert in karate. And this is what, you know, I think the youth today need to extend out and say, bullying, number one. Don't let anybody bully you. Don't let you be out there eating alone, okay, at lunch, or even sitting down on the field. Surround them. Hey, how are you today? What's up? You know, to let them know that you notice them, that you also care about them, okay? And as youth commissioners, you need to be the leaders in your schools to pull that in, so that we don't have what happened in Florida or Columbine, or, you know, people taking out because of the fact that they feel isolated, And then two, you're going to bring to the attention of authorities, if they will listen to you, we have a problem here. We need to have this person, you need to really come in and look at, and help them. There's a mental condition here. Just like everybody knew in Florida that this guy was going to do this, nobody acted upon. But as the youth commissioner and leaders, you're out there that people can come to, talk to, point out things to, that you need to be inclusive. So challenging you because of the way the world is today, I think you need to be the leaders that bring people together to show them love, respect. That's all they want. Listening to them, listening to somebody, and just bring your other friends around so that they don't feel that nobody loves them. It's a little different. Hate to say it, I feel that some of the members of the council are closed off, kind of thing. This is mine. They're not, until something very, very bad or something happens, do they come. I hate to go back to where we were. Okay, we listen to everyone. Okay, we listen to everyone to come in, especially to the youth, because we had a vested interest in your future, and we started this, and we respect it. So opportunities are there. Be careful not to come in, may I say this, don't come in angry. Okay? Just like I'm closing you off now. That's exactly what the council's doing. Okay? You're angry. You're angry. I mean, my goodness. I have enough of people yelling at me. My Zumba instructor yells at me, at 8 o'clock in the morning. Who wants to hear that, But don't come in angry, okay? There's a lot of anger out there on both sides, adults and youth. There is a lot for you out there, believe me. How many are millennials? It's 18 to 34. Millennials, okay? You guys are the builders, okay? You're builders' generation of hope. What they tear down, you guys are going to build up, okay? The millennials and everything. But anyway, that's the way your things out there are being portrayed. But there's a lot of opportunity out there. It's just like at Santa Ana College. We're preparing you to what is expected of you out there in the future. So there are opportunities. You have to get your students that you interview or friends to let them know, like, hey, unless you perform, you're not going to get paid. If you do, you're going to get a menial job that's only going to pay, $10 an hour? Okay, you got to show up. What is expected of you is that company wants you to perform. Okay, that's the opportunity. There are a myriad of opportunity out there, and the business customer said they're not qualified. They're not qualified. So the opportunities, but you have to be qualified. You have to have skills. And I'm not, talking about the generation. What the top level of students are always going to be prepared. There's scholarships and everything else out there. The ones that are disadvantaged ones, the ones that have disabilities, they're always going to be taken care of. You know who's left out? That middle group, the B and C, right? Nothing for them. Well, guess what? That B and C student that's out there, if they're good with their hands, they're never going to be unemployed. You with a 4-year degree out there, you're going you're not going to have the opportunities for a job because what is business going into? Artificial intelligence. Okay? A lot of the jobs are going to be cut out. But what else do you have? If you don't have scholarship, you have debt. Student loan debt. Soon as you graduate from that college, guess what? Welcome. Here's your first bill for your education. Okay? Meanwhile, the students that are working with their hands and are going to a community college just like Santa Ana we have the automotive, which has diesel and all BMW, all the big tractors formed there are going to be employed. We have welding. People are looking for welders. We have a contract right now with St. Jude's Hospital repairing medical equipment. Okay, students that are going through that program, we have a waiting list. Do you know how much they start out with? Yes. Come on, guys, throw me some figures. Nope. Too low.
20 bucks an hour?
Too low.
24?
Too low. 85,000 a year. 85,000 to 150,000 a year, depending on. So what does that mean? I give you, I hire you at 85,000. What does that do for you? Right? Do you have student debt? No, no, not at Santa Ana College. You don't. We're up there. You might have a little student debt, but can you write a check? Yeah, we can go in there. You're going to have a home. If you have a wife, you're going to have a car. You're going to be able to get the things in life that you've always looked for by using your hands. Plumbers, electricians, okay, builders now, okay. All these trades, we're talking about hope, building, all these trades are coming back, right? As the Youth Commission, you need to bring those opportunities to learn what the other opportunity to those kids that are in the middle, that can work with their hands, to let them know there is work out there. Who knew about repairing medical equipment? And this is, how many hospitals we have across the United States? I mean, thousands, right? Medical equipment, repair, you can go anywhere in the world. So you need to go out there, let them know what's out there and available and the schooling that's out there and available. Be yourself. Be open. Don't be like him. Where'd he go? Closed off, and so forth. Be sincere. The whole thing. I mean, your friends can know if you're sincere or not, Be genuinely sincere. Let your life light come through, As I teach release time education to fourth graders here at Heroes, we do Toby Maxine, Light Shine Bright everywhere we go. You be the light that shines bright everywhere you go, coming up and let them know that I am the way, to help you achieve. And they will latch on to it because people are hungry out there. People, even adults and children, all they want is somebody to acknowledge them, number one, to be there for them, okay, and be sincere and genuine. Just build on what we already have here. Just exceed our goals, because I always said, looking at your youth commission, council was looking at you here, okay? I'm looking at you here. I said, if I give you a challenge, you're going to exceed my expectation and what you did, the whole thing. Just go out there and succeed your expectation. And don't forget, help the person behind you. Bring them up along with you on your success.